Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, why do we keep slipping further and further away from 1,000? I don't think our community is getting smaller, our community of gnomies. I just think that, I don't know. I don't know what I think. I know that some pledges have not cleared, and so we're just keeping things as clean as possible. Hopefully, you know, within a day's time or so, whenever Diana gives birth, the baby Pirillo will be at 1,000. Maybe that's what's going to take. A baby will get us to 1,000. Patron Earl Green sent me a link that I think makes a very cogent argument in terms of how Android fits in the universe of products. Microsoft, has had a difficult time in getting its products from point A to point B. Microsoft is now, more than anything, riding the coattails of Android hardware in an effort to really save Windows phones. They're having some issues with manufacturers, device manufacturers, those who build hardware. They're having problems getting them to use Windows Phone as a platform because users just don't want it. You know, some people wonder, well, what's it going to take for Windows Phone to take off? And I really believe that Windows Phone has a possibility of working. However, it would make sense to get the market to adopt Windows phones, to get those Windows phones into more people's hands. How are you going to do that? Well, they're not necessarily buying a lot of new PCs, but what if it was the case that for every Windows PC you bought, a new Windows PC, it came with a Windows Phone? It would seem to me that would help people at least understand what these devices are, or at least get it into their hands where they could understand where or if they would want to be using a Windows Phone over, say, their iOS device or their Android device, which those two seem to be ruling the roost, not just in terms of market share, but certainly in terms of profit share, and there's definitely a value of each one of them. The problem is Windows Phone isn't making a dent anywhere. So to me, I'm thinking, well, people are still buying PCs somewhat, maybe not at the same clip as they were years ago, but imagine having that as a compelling argument to go with a PC over, say, a Mac, or, going to an Apple store and buying a Mac, or going online and buying a Mac. Knowing that you'd have to buy an iPhone or an iPad separately, that would be another value of sticking within the Microsoft ecosystem. You buy a Microsoft-driven PC running Windows, you would get a Microsoft-driven tablet for free or a Windows Phone for free. I'm not saying it's an amazing idea, but I can't imagine it being any worse than what Microsoft's facing now, and that's nobody's buying them. Seems to me that I think that the best bet for Microsoft is not just, having Windows Phone be able to be installed on hardware that was spec'd out for Android, that was built for Android, or with Android in mind. It's a smart way of going, certainly, but you got to get it to consumers, and the best way to do that, I'm telling you, is free. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. We'll see you later.